Hello there, I'm very happy to see you here. Today we're going to be talking about GW number 5, and this one is all about giving you a broader perspective, a big picture type of perspective that is going to help you understand why it's so hard to implant new habits, and hopefully that's going to help you implant these new habits. Now again, if you would like to skip to the summary section or the most important points in this video, then you can find them either all around me or in the description box below or in this progress bar that you see below me right now. Alright, so let's dive deep into it. And my first question to you is, have you ever played a strategy where you have all of these different possible things like a castle, for example, or a stable and some barracks and maybe like a hospital and maybe farms as well, yeah? And these farms are always giving you some type of food, right? So let's imagine, well, it has different icons, but let's just say it with a general term, food, yeah? So plus 10 food every 5 minutes or every 3 minutes or 10 minutes or sometimes every 1 minute, yes? And now imagine that there are farms, because these types of farms are usually giving you something, yeah? They're not taken away from you, they're not stealing any resources, they're always giving you, yeah? They're always regenerating the tank, so to speak. And what we can imagine is the opposite of this farm. So there's this, you can imagine farms that give you minus 10 food, yeah? So it might seem like they're taking this food, but they're actually investing minus 10 food, so to speak. And I also call them the automation farms. And why is it automation farms? Because, well, you don't need to participate in it in order for it to work for you. Yeah, and if you don't do anything about it, then they're gonna continue generating either good things for you or bad things for you, good food or bad food, yes? And so now let's apply this to our life, and let's imagine ourselves as this settlement, yeah? So you have this castle, these barracks, this hospital or whatever, and these farms. And you have more than just one or two types of farms. You have hundreds, maybe thousands types of farms. And these farms are categorized in two areas, two categories, plus and minus, yeah? So for example, you might have calmness farms, which are both plus and minus. You might have confidence farms, which are both plus and minus. And you might have, for example, productivity farms, again, plus and minus. And so now let's see how these metaphorical farms can play in our life. Let's say, for example, there's two farms for happiness levels. And what type of a positive farm, like what can it do for you? Let's say, for example, congratulating yourself every single time when you do something, when you accomplish something that you wanted to accomplish for a couple of weeks or a couple of months or even a couple of years, yeah? And when you accomplish this, and if you're giving yourself this credit, if you're giving yourself some time to celebrate it with your friends, for example, or with your family, then this is gonna be the positive farm, yeah? It's gonna give you positive food to your happiness, therefore increasing the happiness levels. Another manifestation of it can be or just simply going outside and having a nice walk, for example, and taking some fresh air, which is especially relevant right now in these times with COVID-19, yeah? And for example, having another manifestation could be gratitude journal, yeah, where you write down, for example, let's say 5 things that you are grateful for today, and you write this every single day for a certain amount of time, or maybe till the rest of your life, who knows? Maybe this is something that you're going to enjoy doing and you're continuing doing, and this is definitely going to increase your happiness levels more and more and more. And what could be, so these were the positive farms, and what are the negative farms, negative automation farms, yeah? They are, for example, catastrophizing, yeah? So anything that happens, which is, for example, from 0 to minus 10, where minus 10 is the worst thing ever and 0 is like neutral. So you might have a situation which is, you know, kind of frustrating, annoying, but it's not something that you are not going to be able to live after if you're going to have this. So instead of minus 2, you're thinking that it's minus 10. So you're dramatizing the F out of it, yeah, and you're thinking that this is the reality when actually objectively it's not, yeah. And another one is just like I said with gratefulness. Well, now the opposite. How about ungratefulness? Yeah, so well, gratefulness is basically looking for things to be happy about, and ungratefulness is the opposite. You're consciously, or maybe unconsciously probably, looking for things that you don't like, things that annoy you, things that you just think that are disgusting. Yeah, and you start to find them more and more and more, and this becomes a habit, and now it's hard to stop. So another one, another negative farm in this case, yeah, another negative metaphorical farm could be the lack of exercise, or not doing exercise at all, yeah, which, well, for example, sitting on a couch and doing nothing, watching TV, then of course this is gonna decrease your happiness levels and is gonna contribute to your just unsatisfaction with yourself, and your self-image is gonna plummet as well. So these are the negative polarity, the negative farms, yes? And so now an important thing to understand here is that they don't determine, like these farms, these small things, yeah, they don't determine usually, yeah, but they influence you. They can influence you heavily, and they can only, well, so to speak, determine only when there's a big number of them, yeah? But one by one, they don't do as much difference. But if they're all together, and they're usually working in tandem, like they work together in order to either bring you down or bring you up, yes? So they don't determine usually, they influence, but they're not dominating your life, yeah? They're not dictating your life. Yeah, this was the word that I was looking for. So imagine that there's like a spectrum, and you're having there's like a log that is sitting on a like a fundament or something that is able to go like this. Yeah. So imagine there's like positivity and there's negativity, and every farm is doing its own contribution. And every farm has like plus 10 or minus 10, yeah? And so the more you put here and the less you put here, the more it's gonna go like this, yeah? And the opposite is true as well. So if you're gonna go towards losing, now it's gonna be hard for you to win. It's still possible, but it's gonna be harder. And so now let's take a look at this example. Like for example, the productivity, yeah? So productivity farms, positive productivity farms and negative productivity farms. So let's say you have two positive farms that are generating your tendency to be more productive. And what are they? You are getting enough sleep, so this is a huge one. And then another one is you're reading inspirational books, yeah? So you have two farms that daily work in your favor, not against you, in your favor, not against you. And now the other ones, the negative ones, yeah? Well, in this case, you are gonna have more of them. And let's say you're eating bad food, eat low quality food. And of course, when you eat low quality food, well, maybe not once every, I don't know, 2 months, for example, but I'm talking about eating it on a regular basis. So if you're doing this, then guess what? Your body is not going to be happy about it. Your body is going to revolt, or just going to start to disintegrate just bit by bit, and you're not going to feel, you cannot feel very productive when you are having bad, like low quality food inside of you. Just think about the car and having a very low quality gas. It's gonna break way faster than it could have other ways, yeah? So the other one might be distractions. The other negative form might be, watching YouTube videos or just getting distracted by the small things, which, by the ego are not perceived like small things, but, maybe some part of you understands that this is small, but there's another part that likes to think that this is not small, this is big. I have to watch this stupid YouTube video just to make just to laugh, or just to have some kind of a high experience, yeah? Because many of these videos are not bringing you joy, but they like genuine joy, but what they give you is a feeling of high. It's basically like drugs, yeah, that they're giving you a feeling of yeah, exactly, but not in the short term, but not in the long term, yeah? So this is one negative form. Another negative form might be self-criticism, and self-criticism is never a good thing, because in that case you are in a space where you're going to see negative things more and more and more and more, and the more you're looking for bad things, the harder it is going to be for you to see the positive things, yeah? You just either look in a negative space or in a positive one. Like it's, yeah, I don't think it's possible to be 50-50, exactly 50-50. It's just either or in this case. At least if we're talking about vibrationally, yes? Law of attraction here. Because if you're in a low vibration, you're not going to be seeing or perceiving or feeling things that are here. And most people, I think not most, I think all people want to be here in a positive space. And another negative form could be limiting beliefs that have been implanted in you, whether by your parents or your friends or your teachers. It does not really matter, but what matters, it doesn't even matter that you know that they exist. The most important thing is that they exist, yeah? And they are controlling, manipulating your life to fit its idea of how the world should be, of how you should be, of how other people should be, yes? And these beliefs might be, I'm nobody, I am nothing, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, this is too hard for me. Why are they talking to me like that? I mean, no, the belief could be, they shouldn't talk to me like that. But then how do you know that they shouldn't talk to you like this? Yes? And many other beliefs that collectively bring you down, 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 yeah? So this is a bigger category. It's not just a simple farm, it's like a collection of these mini farms. Well, let's just put it in one category, just one farm, yes? And another negative thing here is, let's say, the fifth one now, farm that you're having is you're having contact with negative people, whether you are doing it consciously or unconsciously, whether it's out of your choice or whether you don't have choice if you're with family members that are constantly negative, yes. But this is also a huge farm that is able to destroy your life if you're not gonna control it, yes? So what we have here is 5 negative farms and 2 positive ones. And then if we put it on a scale or on this log that we talked about, then of course it's going to be 2 positive and 5 negative. So 2 of these positive are going to be weaker, lighter than the other ones. So the scales are going to go like this, yeah? And of course, in this case, you are going to be having a tendency to be lazy, to not to want to do anything, because you're negative, because you're having all of these other influences on you. But, I mean, of course it's possible for you to be productive, well, relatively productive, even in this case. Because you always have a choice to go there despite this internal conflict that you're having. This is an internal conflict. And even though altogether, so plus 20 and minus 50 together gives you minus 30. So today you feel minus 30. It's still possible for you to achieve quite a lot actually. But not nearly actually as much as if all of these farms, all of these 7 farms in this case, were all in just in one direction, yeah? Well, it's kind of hard to put them all in one direction, but it's possible. It's possible. And for example, with this configuration that we talked about, so 20, 50, and together minus 30, with this configuration, if you work, let's say, 8 hours a day, like 8 intense hours, then you're going to be, you're going to create, let's say, 40 points of productivity, whatever that is, yeah, or 40 units of productivity. And if you had all of these 7, yeah, not just 2 in the positive direction, but all 7, which would have been like this now. If all of these 7 farms would have been in one direction, then working with the same intensity that you worked with this configuration, you would have achieved not 40 points, but let's say 100 points, 120, 160 points, yeah? Like quite a lot, like 3-4 times more than otherwise, than with those internal conflicts. So this is big, this is huge actually. This is the reason why people are not productive, the reason why they're not happy, yes? Or not confident, for example, is always because of this secret internal farms that are always... So you see, it's really important to see what kind of secret internal negative or positive farms do you have inside, yeah? And the $1 million question here is, what type of farms do you have? What type of negative and positive farms do you have? Maybe you're having more than you realize. How about this? Maybe the reason that you are in the situation that you are right now is because of these internal secret farms that are secretly manipulating and controlling your life to go exactly where you are right now. And maybe the fact that you are in the situation where you are right now is a perfect combination of all of these farms working together and creating your tendencies, yeah? And maybe you shouldn't be so harsh on yourself, thinking that, oh, I should have been somewhere else right, by now. But how do you know? Maybe you're having 9 negative farms that are working right now that you are not aware of. They are doing this behind the scenes and they're just bringing you down. They're just, yeah, slowing you down and not making you able to reach whatever you want to reach. So just take a look at your life and start just noticing, either from right now or maybe from tomorrow, just see what type of thought patterns do you have, what type of actions are you taking, or what kind of emotions are you having. Because this is something important, this is something that might control your life. And when you're seeing this, when you are becoming aware of them, then you're going to be able to identify them. What is the thing that is actually controlling you? And when you analyze this, then you're going to be able to eliminate them. But in order to eliminate something, you need to know it's there. You need to know it exists. Yeah? Like if you want to destroy a target, you need to find the target first. Yes? Or if you want to change the target better, then you need to find its location first. So other thing that I want to say here is that in a game it's a lot easier, a lot easier than in real life. Because in a game it's visible. Well, first of all, it's visible because you're having it in front of you in a monitor, right? So even if you had, because there's no games where there's like positive and negative farms, but let's just imagine that there are, yeah? And in this game, you are able to see how much of positive points you're having, but also how much negative points you're having. And in this case, it's quite easy for you to understand how many points are generated in either of these farms. So let's say you're gonna know that in one day you created 100 points of positivity and 120 points of negativity. And now you understand that the direction that this one is, if you're not gonna do anything about it, right? Then you're gonna slowly move towards negativity, because 100 and then 120. And so now you know what you need to do. You need to either implant new positive farms or to change the negative farms into a positive one. Well, in that case, it's even better because then you delete or extract a negative one and leave them with one negative farm less and put it on the other side of the spectrum. And also, if you notice that already for a couple of weeks or a couple of months the trajectory goes towards negativity, then if you're going to change it, then you can even calculate it, for example, on the paper. How long is it going to take for you to come back to equalization, to the balance, and then to go towards positivity? Yes? But in real life, it's hard for you to understand this. Like, when are you going to reach this point when the negativity is going to be less than the positivity? It's really tough. It's really hard. So another reason why in a game it's easier, it's because it's not painful. Because let's be honest, it's just you're clicking and then just waiting. Yeah, maybe not even clicking. You're just waiting. And in life, it's not like this. You just implant, in order to implant a new farm, which is a new belief, for example, or a new habit, that's a tough thing. That's a tough thing to, well, maybe not super tough, but way tougher than just clicking and waiting, yeah? And it's going to require you a couple of weeks or a couple of months sometimes, yes, of conscious everyday work towards whatever habit you want to create or whatever belief you want to implant. And so yeah, in real life, the thing is, it's not visible and it's more painful. So that's why it's tougher to do. So I hope this metaphor gives you a broader picture that it is possible actually to change your situation. Yeah, maybe it might be tough, like for example, if you want to lose weight and you've been trying some special diets, or maybe you're trying some new exercise routines or exercising schedules, whatever, and they didn't work. Well, now you might understand that hey, what about these farms? Maybe I'm having 2 positive farms, but 9 negative ones. And these negative ones are dragging this spectrum, dragging this log towards a tendency to not do anything. And what we need to do is just to remove this. And in the beginning, if you want to input a new diet, for example, and create the 3rd positive farm, then it's still going to be really hard for you because you still have to deal with the other 9, the other negative 9 ones. And these 9 negative farms are not going to be happy about the fact that now there is a new farm there. There's a new positive farm that can threaten their existence, because the more positive farms you're having there, the less these negative farms are having influence over you. Yeah, so it's not convenient for them, to say the least, of course. And of course they're going to fight. Of course they're going to drag you down. Of course they're going to try to influence you to do whatever they actually want you to do. But hopefully this metaphor is going to gives you a realistic expectation that, you know, if you're implanting the 3rd one and then you have the other 9, then it's expected for you to have some kind of difficulty, some kind of pressure, some kind of resistance in the beginning. And it's good for you to know this, because imagine there's a person that goes to the gym, and this person, I don't think this person exists ever, but let's say that there's a person that thinks that at the gym everything is going to be amazing. He or she's never going to suffer, he or she is never going to feel any pain, yeah, and they're never going to sweat, and they're never going to not enjoy it, yeah? Everything is going to be perfect and rainbows. This is not going to happen, not at the gym. Not at least if you're serious enough, yes? And you need to know that some pain is going to be expected, and that you need some time to acclimate, to adapt your body to the pressure of being in the gym on a regular basis. and you need to know that the first 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, you are going to be in pain. And then later on, bit by bit, it's going to get easier and easier. But if you didn't know that, then you would have had bad expectations, like unrealistic expectations. And these expectations are going to be the reason why your joy, why your enthusiasm is going to plummet. It's just going to fall down really like fast and furious, yes? It's not a good idea to have these unrealistic expectations. And that's why I'm giving you, I gave you this metaphor. And now a very good thing, like good news right now for you is that when you are having this big picture, yeah, the only now thing you have to do is just to hold on to creating this farm, this new positive farm. And as Les Brown put it, if you hold on tenaciously, I say the universe is on your side. And I completely agree with him. I love Les Brown. And at this point, it's just a matter of time until you're going to get to a point where positivity is going to be more than the negative one. Yeah? When the weight of positivity is going to be bigger, more significant than the negative one. And then bit by bit, the negative one is just going to go away. And your life is going to be going in the trajectory exactly where you want it to go. All right, thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys. And I hope this was informative and enjoyable maybe. And if you have any questions or maybe suggestions, then please leave a comment down below. And here is the summary, and see you in the next video.